Hello and welcome. My name is Peace Mitchell and I'm co-founder of Women Changing the World Press. Before we begin, I would like to pay my respects to the traditional owners and elders of the land that I live and work on, the people of Mamu country in North Queensland. And I would also like to pay my respect and acknowledge traditional owners and elders past and present right across Australia and the Torres Strait. While I'm excited to be here today celebrating the launch of Dreams and Determination, and to help me celebrate, I have one of my fabulous co-authors joining me, Christine. Christine, please join me on stage.
Hello, Peace. Thank you so much
Hello.
for me.
Oh, it's so wonderful to have you here, Christine. Now, for those who haven't met you before, I would love you to introduce yourself and tell us a bit about you and the work that you do.
Thank you for that question, because sometimes I try and get around my head all the things that I am trying to do. A lot of my work is around education and the impact that education has on all ages. For many years, I worked in corporate, and I thought to myself, yes, it's financial services, but how can I impact more people? And I actually went into small business after I had the first of my 4 children. So I'm the founder of C3 Education Group, and that was to support an after-school service for migrant children who really struggled with the English language. And through that, I actually taught Shakespeare for 20 years to try and help them navigate that landscape in the curriculum. Thereafter, I recently co-founded a lovely communication platform with my co-founder, my partner, Brenda Dembeston, and that's really what I'm doing now. So trying to impact the world in a more, uplifting way through educating others.
I love that. I love that, Christine. You're doing some incredible work. Now, your chapter for Dreams and Determination is called A Story of Silent Survival and Relentless Becoming. Can you tell us why you chose this title for your chapter?
Yes. So when I think about, the work that I do and the impact I want to make, especially for those who are underrepresented, being silenced is really a key theme and a journey that I've been through myself. I'm a refugee as a result of the Vietnam War, and it's such a timely way for me to be louder than I have been in the last 50 years through co-authoring this chapter, co-authoring this book, because it means that people like myself have a space, a platform to not be silenced anymore. And of course, 50 years is a long time, and it's the resilience that we have through this journey that I want to use my story to inspire others to really, step up and out of their own silenced space as well.
Your chapter was so powerful. I found it really moving, Christine. There were moments where, I found it quite emotional. You talk about your childhood. Do you want to share with us a bit about your childhood and, what you remember from photos and memories that you have?
Yes. So I actually recently authored a poetry collection called Letting Go, A Migrant Story. And that's, been taken up by some bookstores across Victoria and New South Wales. So I'm very proud of that. So in that, I actually had to dig up a lot of photos that we managed and my parents managed to smuggle out, if you may, from the war. We lost lots of memories, of course, their home and everything like that. As a result of that, when I look back on the photos, and you're right, these are memories, but they're very fragmented, because sometimes I look at the photo as if I'm having this out of body experience. Like, was that really me? Is that really me? And one of the photos is, as if you will, it's called a mugshot. It was just me on the boat, and all it was a number and some letters. And that really drove it home that, one's identity uh, is could be very fragile. So when I look back on who I am and who I was and who I am today, I want that coherence, and I want that to be something that strengthens me and everybody else who reads the chapter. So the memories I have of when I was young, and it is sort of scary in a way because I was separated from my parents. I didn't go on the same boat as them. My parents were told that if they brought a child, that was okay. It was at their own risk. But if the child cried, they'd be thrown overboard because there were at least 50 other people whose lives were at stake. And if my parents were happy to take that risk, then I would have been on that boat. Clearly, I'm sitting here speaking to you today because my parents decided otherwise. But the sacrifice was that, they were in search of me around the globe. Where was she? For 3 years, I actually left the country with my grandparents, but as to where our boat could and would have taken us, if not, it could have capsized, who knows? It took my parents 3 years to find me. So that was, as far as I guess my memory is concerned, it's very fragmented. I don't remember a lot of it. So the stories are very much told to me, reinforced by photographs that they still managed to have.
Oh, it's such an emotional story, and you know, fortunately, you were able to be reunited with your parents. Your beautiful grandparents were with you the whole time as well.
Yes.
But the impact of the trauma went on beyond, beyond you arriving in Australia. The trauma goes on far beyond that. You talk about in your chapter silence, but you also talk about healing and how having your own children has really helped you to come along on that healing journey, I guess. Can you tell us a bit about the healing experience and, how you did that, how you began to heal from that trauma?
Yes, I think as a refugee, as anyone who's displaced, there is definitely trauma to an extent of embracing it and really facing it. So I know that, I saw the trauma of my parents and I still witness that every day because my mum, she lost, three siblings. And I guess, we're making a educated, deductive uh, conclusion that they would have drowned because we never found them. So that in the face of trauma as a teenager, as a child and then a teenager and then a young adult, growing up, that's what I witnessed. So how did I deal with it? I guess these are all lessons, aren't they? When you're watching your parents suffer through that and you're trying to remove yourself away from that trauma so you're not continuing it via the generations. I had to really, or I found that I just sort of plunged myself into a lot of work. Well, what are the results of, overworking is burnout, isn't it? So the healing process is never ending, but I think that I could almost pinpoint a turning point, and that was when I had my first child. So my eldest is 21, my youngest is 8. Everybody says to me, "Oh, the 8-year-old, is she a surprise?" No, all my kids are planned, and I love them dearly. And I think they teach me something every day, which is, trauma is what you make of it. So if you can face it and then reframe it in your own mind, then, they become less of trauma and more of lessons. So that's how I have tried to reframe the way I approach trauma. I see my mum's suffering every day. And, these are the dialogue and the narrative that I have with her, which is, try and reframe that because you can't take back what is lost. So those lessons from my children and seeing that they have such a bright future ahead of them, that they don't know a single day of suffering, but they're so aware of our family history and our family journey that they almost benefit from two sides of the same coin. You know, hearing it from their mother, hearing it from their grandfather, hearing it from myself, but also taking those lessons and saying, not to take each day for granted, but instead embrace, each day as a new opportunity. So that, I think, is very much what my children have taught me, so I can break any sort of generational trauma cycles.
Oh, I love that so much. I love the lessons and future that your children represent and are living, and that you've been able to pass down to them. That's really beautiful.
Thank you.
So thank you so much for being here, Christine. Thank you for your chapter in Dreams and Determination, and thank you for chatting with me today. I found your chapter really, really powerful, and you're such an incredible ambassador for other refugees in sharing your story. It's very courageous, and yeah, and important to tell that story as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Peace. I really enjoyed writing my chapter, and for all the encouragement. And yes, I do believe that this is a very important platform for underrepresented voices, silenced voices, to really get their story out. So thank you for the opportunity. I really appreciate it.
Oh, you're so welcome. You're so welcome. Well, thank you everyone for tuning in today. Make sure you grab your copy of Dreams and Determination. You can find it at wcwpress.com. Well, thanks again, and we will see you all next time. Thanks so much. Bye.
Bye.